give you my time in the world to me. Oh shit, man, I was just off the shit just now, trying to get into the mood for this fucking Lucki review, man. So we about to fucking tap in and shit. So this nigga just dropped his much anticipated Wake Up Filthy collab album called Wake Up Lucki that has been teased for months and shit. Hella people were saying that shit was fire. The underground community has been going crazy. I already made a video on Lucki about how he robbed 3,000 from my homie, but like you can kind of see in that video that the underground scene for Lucki is super big and niggas were really waiting for this shit. So how does this shit stack up? Personally, I say this project is an 8 perks out of 10. For some Lucki shit, this shit is definitely like, I don't know, this nigga goes in a whole different stylistic direction and shit. Not just talking about being off drugs and shit, but he does have a song called Cry Out, which is literally a cry out because he's on drugs. But he goes in a whole different direction. I mean, somewhat, he's like, the sounds of his beats aren't like the fucking really low monotone mumble rap shit that he kind of came up with. He kind of switched up the whole vibe, more energetic. This nigga actually singing and shit. Like, he's actually really making an effort to make different types of music. So let's get the fuck into it and let's tap in. So the first track that was on the project, I actually liked a lot. It was, sorry, I don't even know what the fuck that is. That's my fucking Spotify. Spotify, why are you doing this right now? I was just trying to tap in. But Lucki's first track on the fucking project used to be. Now, I really fucked with this track. I felt like it was a fire intro track. Like, it really like had like real like intro vibes. It had high energy, got you in the mood for it, kind of set the tone for the whole project. Not like some monotone shit. It already came out hard and shit. And I definitely feel like Filthy kind of went into, like, this nigga be making hella like collab projects and he be dropping hella shit. Like, his last big project was like, I'm pretty sure the Cardi album, but it was like, definitely I feel like his like style is like super energetic. But then he also has like tread down low, like deep ass beats that make you feel like you're asleep and shit, like that he uses for Sick Boy Rari. So it's interesting to see that he went in a whole different stylistic direction and they were more upbeat with this, which I actually really fucked with the fact, because it's like, I feel like too many times Lucki songs are just put in a box. Like, at least all the like leaks and shit are all put in the box of like classic like monotone slow ass songs and shit. So like, not, you can't appreciate it for every single like area that you're in. You can't really appreciate it like on, like, everyone can't appreciate it at the same time, if that were to make sense. Like, not everyone is in a monotone slow mood. Some people want to be up or just like regular, like they don't want to be down, because a lot of his songs are like downers. Not like subject matter being downer like Debbie Downer, but like it's just like a downbeat. But this is like upbeat. Next song we have on the project is Neptune versus Industry. We already heard this was the lead single for the project. I actually really fuck with it. It's like some weird like harpsichord ass beat and shit. At first I didn't like it, but when you hear it in the whole line of the fucking project, I feel like that song is super fire and it goes really well with the project. And I feel like as a single it probably doesn't really make sense, but the project is supposed to be like a weird direction. Like, I really feel like what the fucking artwork is, it's like geeking. So Still Miss Ya, another banger, but it's more like talking about like I don't know, like people missing, and like it's cool. It's more like a love song type vibe. I definitely fuck with it. I say it's not my most favorite track on the song. I say it's definitely fire. I wouldn't say it's forgettable, but it's definitely, I feel like for the Lucki projects, he's the type of nigga where his actual fucking leaks be harder than the projects. Kind of like how Cardi is, but I feel like this case, the project, like that song is definitely better than any of his leaks, which leads us to the next song, UGK. That was I would say, besides Used to Be, which is like the first song, I say UGK is my favorite track on the album. Absolute banger, hard as fuck. That shit is gas, man. And it's really, you'd think it would be like some Texas Trill type shit, but it wasn't. It was like upbeat, it was fire, it was just a certified banger, sounded perfect and shit. And then we got 2019. I fuck with that song. I feel like that, like there's very little skips on the album, for real. Like Where I Be, also another type of like love song needed. Cry Out was another song that I felt like was super weird. Like this nigga basically said, it's not just lyrics that I'm off the drugs. I am on the drugs. I need help. Like that's the fucking like basically the basis of the fucking song in itself. And I feel like it's kind of a departure. I mean, Lucki always be talking like really dark drug like content, talking about how his stomach be hurting from taking the fucking not taking enough lean, and like he's fiending for drugs and shit. I feel like this is a departure from that because it's not put into the fiend point of view. It's put into like the person that kind of wants to be off of drugs, you know, because like there's hella people that just be glorifying it. You don't really see their everyday struggle. They might be going off again, on again, because I mean like it's a general consensus that you're not going to live very long if you're still off the drugs for a long period of time, you know. Like anyone that's on the drugs for that long a time is definitely going to go through ups and downs with the shit. And this nigga still hasn't kicked the cup. You see he be looking kind of chunky lately. This nigga probably needs to do more working out, but I feel like if he's making these songs, they kind of give me hope that he's not just gonna be like a burnout and fucking like die off the drugs. Maybe he's gonna change his whole perspective and try to be sober. So then next song, Sparks Vision, I thought was fire. But the next track I want to talk about is Busy Day. That's a fucking fire song because it's basically about like, I feel like it's a highlight in the project because like he kind of tells a story about like, he's like, put yourself in my shoes. Like, what would you fucking do if your phone was always ringing, you're not gonna answer and shit? And it's real. Like this nigga probably be busy as fuck. That's why he didn't pay my homie $3,000 for that feature he asked for. But hey, that's neither here nor there. But I feel like Busy Day is a good song, like because it really is telling like a story and it puts you in a world. And I feel like any type of music that makes you feel that type of way, gives you clear imagery, is some gas shit. And I feel like that's something that's very lacking right now in today's music and world in general. Like niggas don't really be telling stories like that, and the people that do tell stories are the ones that end up being good. So next is Love Is War. Coincidentally, like sounds like it was named after fucking the name escapes me, but this underground clothing brand and shit. But yeah, that track was gas too. I'd say it was pretty good. And then outro, I liked outro a lot. It was a fire way to end the album. Like honestly, like I felt like that shit was a good way. Like when I was listening to it all the way through, I didn't even realize outro was the outro. I was just listening. I was like, yo, this shit gas. But then it makes sense that it's the outro because it's fire. So all in all, 8 perks out of 10 for a Lucki album. I say it's one of his better albums. Like this nigga be coming out with hella albums. He be dropping, I wouldn't say like hella like every year, but he be coming out with projects, and I feel like a lot of times the issue with the projects are like the fact that sometimes the leaks are better than the actual songs. But I feel like in this he was really trying to tell a story. I think it's like a drug fueled love story about missing people, maybe different women of some sort, and like how they feel, and like him and his like life and fame, and trying to balance music and have relationships and shit. So I definitely feel like it's definitely something worth checking out. It's not no trash. It's different too. It doesn't sound like anything else. Sonically, it's super different than any project that I've heard. It's like by the same nigga that did most of the fucking Playboi Carti album, but it doesn't sound like the fucking Carti album whatsoever, which I feel like is super fire, man. But hey, check it out. Let me know in the comments how many perks out of 10 you think that album was. By the way, go cop some merch and shit. Fucking go tap in with my website, link in the description to go cop some merch. You already know. Peace.